What's up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today I'll be going over my top favorite fall baits to catch bass. So, to start out, when bass fishing in the fall, you're going to want to, well, I would say to either use top water, mid-depth baits, or bottom baits. But personally me, I would either go top water or mid-depth baits because those bass are going to be actively feeding and feeding aggressive. So you might catch a couple bass busting on shad on top water or busting on bluegills on top water. And you're going to want to use those fish imitations bait to catch those bass. So to start out, we're going to start out with our first top water bait, which is going to be this bait here, a walking bait. See the colors? And these hooks are very sharp as well. So with a walking bait, as soon as you cast it out there, you can cast it short or fast. Short or far. But when you cast that bait out there, that bait's gonna sit because it's top water bait. So you can fish different ways. You can twitch it with your rod, and then it's either gonna go left or right. And the way the bait looks in the water, sit on top of the water. And as soon as you start twitching your rod, it's gonna go boom, boom, twitch, 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 and it's gonna look very good. And so, when that's happening, those fish are gonna see it. Those fish are gonna see this lure going left, right, left, and that's gonna sometimes might trigger them to strike your bait aggressive, or just strike it out of, it wants it to get out of its area. Most of the time during fall, they're gonna strike it aggressively. My next bait, and also I'm gonna go from top water to mid-depth baits. So my next bait gonna be this Bluegill Swimbait. Now for me, I like using bluegills to catch bass, and most of the time, if not shad, then bluegills are gonna be the main forage for those bass. So I got a small Bluegill Swimbait here. You can see it has little slits here. That means this bait is able to move freely. And so in the water, the bait will move just sort of like a regular bluegill, sort of like. Gonna be moving just like that. And then this tail here, and the rest of this, you can hear it make noise. That's gonna make noise. Like if you fish it fast, it's gonna make this right here. Fish it slow, fish it very fast, and then you're gonna get some good hits out of that. I like to fish this bait when I'm not getting bites on anything else. Another bait, top water bait now, is a popper. Can't really go wrong with a popper. I think this one is a sexy shad. No, this one is a sexy shad, and this one is a foxy mama. But this one looks just regular, just a regular standard color popper. It doesn't have any of those extra colors on it. It just has a regular white base bottom. So do I like to fish it? I cast it out, let it sit for a couple seconds till the rings move away, and I just give it a pop. And now, since this is a Rebel Pop R, what I seen, what they do in the water is they don't just pop. They do pop, but they can walk. They can get a little bit of walking action in them, and that's what I like about it. My favorite one out of these two is this one because it looks more like a shad, and the hooks are sharp, and it has feathers which can attract fish as well. This is the same thing I just talked about like this one, but except for the color, same thing, but it just has the extra color of chartreuse. So you see how this one has blue, yellow, white. This one has blue, yellow, chartreuse, white. And sometimes that could be a big game changer. You getting a bite. Next bait is a crankbait. This crankbait is sort of like a bone, not a bone color, but like solid white with the shad dots on it on one side here, other side here, and it has little red eyes. Now this is like a medium to deep, maybe about 5 to 8 foot of how deep this goes. And this is for if you can't catch fish on a shallow crankbait, then go to this one. Or if you're in deeper water, you will want to go to this one, so you can get that bait deeper and deeper, so that so that this bait goes deeper and deeper and gets closer to a couple of fish. Next bait, I would say, top water, Buzzbait. The reason I like the Buzzbait, and it's also white as well, but the reason I like the Buzzbait, you see this right here, as you reeling that in the water, and you can also see, like, as I'm moving it slowly, it's gonna reflect on the light. So as I'm moving it slowly, you can see that real glare. In the sun, this will be a very good color, because as you cast that bait out, these blades, it's not just gonna sit still and go flying. It's gonna actually do like that and go out in the water. And as soon as you see that bait hit the water, you're gonna want to start reeling instantly, because if you wait a couple seconds, this is still gonna move, but it's just gonna be underwater. But I personally like to fish at top water, because I can get fish to chase the bait. And as soon as this bait hits the water and you start reeling, you're gonna hear this. It might not sound exactly like it because it's underwater, but it's gonna make that sound, or at least close to it. And this sound is gonna be calling the bass color. It's gonna be calling the bass over to strike the bait. And also, I got white because shad are white. Most of the time, in fall fishing, I'm gonna be using shad imitation baits instead of bluegill imitation baits. If there's shad, if there's not shad, I'm gonna go to bluegill imitation baits. My next mid-depth bait, this is a sexy shad pattern color, KVD 1.5. Now this looks more like a shad. Well, in my opinion, this looks more like a shad than this one. This one is a little bit more expensive than this one. That's why the color pattern is better in this crankbait than this crankbait. This crankbait, like I said, maybe down from 5 to 8 feet, which means it's either between a mid-depth crankbait or a deep diving crankbait. And this one is a shallow diving crankbait, maybe from I think it ranges from 1 to 4 foot deep. But yeah, good crankbait for fall if you're fishing shallow water, and you can fish in deep water, and you can still get some good results. Now, my next top water bait, the Fluke. I really love fishing the Fluke in the fall, because if it's my first top water bait I go to during the fall, it's going to be a Fluke. It just has the tail, it has the body. And then you can also, I'm not going to say you can shorten it, but you can't shorten it unless you get like a different size. Now I do have a 7-inch size, but I usually don't use that unless I know it's big fish in that area that I'm fishing, and I know they're not striking this. But most of the time, 5-inch Fluke is gonna get you bites from small fish to big fish. Next bait, and the rest of these two baits are going to be mid-depth baits, meaning they're going to be designed for fishing in the middle of the water column. Next bait is the Spinnerbait. This is actually a $1 Spinnerbait. That's why you might be able to tell, because just the way these what are these called? The strings is not strings, but I'm just gonna call it that for now. But the strings are, you can tell just by the way the strings are on there, and the rubber band. Now I haven't caught a fish on it yet, but I have gotten some follows. But now, this doesn't have a specific running depth. You can fish it as soon as it hits the water, or you can fish it on the bottom. Cast it out, let it sink close to the bottom or on the bottom. Reel it in. Or as soon as it hits the bottom, start reeling in. And what happens is, as this bait is in the water, as this bait is in the water, this blade is gonna be moving, literally just like this. This blade is gonna be moving like this blade, small one here, is gonna be moving just like that. And then you as well have the strings. So I love fishing a spinnerbait during the fall time because it gets you some good bass. Now the last bait is a chatterbait. The reason I like a chatterbait is because you see the colors, shad color pattern, has white, then it has just a little bit of silver glitter, I think. You might not be able to see it, but might have a little bit of silver. Well, it does have actually a lot of silver glitter. And then you got the actual blade. And where you tie your hook to is right. Let me see if I can get it up. Right there. That's where you tie your hook at, right here. And so, if it's on your line, it's going to look just like this. Or if it's sideways, it's going to look just like that. So now, as this bait is going through the water, what happens is, it doesn't go front and back. It goes sideways, like just like that. It's gonna go, as you move through water, it's gonna go from left to right, left to right. And as you're fishing this chatterbait, or any chatterbait, you're gonna feel the vibration of that bait moving. So say I'm reeling in slow, you're gonna feel the vibration going slow. Say I reel it fast, like that, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel that vibration. And just how this calls in fish with the blade from the top, and also being a top water bait, and just how this calls fish to it by going left to right, left to right. The unique thing about the chatterbait is this blade causes fish to come to it. So those are my favorite fall baits. Hopefully y'all like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. And actually, before we go, I got accepted to University of Alabama. And I'm so excited. Hopefully I can get accepted to more colleges. I'll catch y'all in the next video.